Всем привет! Приветствую на своем канале, и мы уже с вами в Атланте.
Lacerite's tucked in my soul, 'cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole.
You find yourself in a poker game on the third floor of the Wine-Coff Hotel. Sometimes these things just happen. The man with the burned face to your left, he never gave his name, growls at the smiling man seated on your right. You ain't got the stomach. I killed men for lessons in that pot. Smiler plays on and takes the hand. The burned man bares his teeth. This hand comes down to the burned man and Smiler. "Walk away, boy," says the burned man. Smiler drops his grin. "I ain't your boy, Roy." Roy's eye twitches. Smiler outplays Roy again, and a new hand comes around.
This will be my tale, my vagrant song. Yeah, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
You've got an okay hand. Not a world beater, but not nothing. For a moment, you think you have it. But Smiler calls and you're outclassed. Roy's preoccupied and has to be nudged into dealing. You finally hit a decent hand. Roy is still staring at Smiler. "What'd you say your name was?" "I didn't, but it's Jackson." "Jackson," repeats Roy. "I knew a Jackson once." You played it just right. You take the hand and the lion's share of the chips on the table. Smiler cusses. As you leave the hotel, you smell smoke. You cross the street and look up. Flames have engulfed the third floor, where you played the game. The
I won't leave much to find that can be found. Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep lacerites tucked in my soul, 'cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole. Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me. Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see when the night come down for to take me hand in hand. This will be my tale, my vagrant.
He's small for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive, an enormous yellow-brown.
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit.
Paul says it has to be better.
With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Paul says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't. Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground, 'cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can't be found.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles. You cool down in the shade. The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills. The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them.
Can't get enough. Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones. Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. When the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song. Yeah, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
The blistering sun has scared even birds into the shade. But a middle-aged woman and a young couple are still collecting scraps of cotton that the machinery missed. With a ragged voice, the older woman calls to you. Yet, the three of them rush over to you, suddenly reanimated. They pass around your canteen. When you get it back, It's empty. The woman squeezes your hand and sighs with relief. Sweetest thing I ever tasted.
'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found. Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep lacerites tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole.
Короче, нам надо как-то до... Не знаю как. В общем, по сюжету надо туда.
The barn and silo.
Хотя сюжет кого нет.
I've seen better days. One big storm might bring the whole structure down. A man hollers, "Ken? Ken? I know you're here, boy." He sighs. "My boy is missing. I haven't seen him since last..." You climb the ladder and make your way across the roof. A trail of empty beer bottles leads you past a discarded shirt and to the base of the silo. You climb up. You maneuver your way along the edge. The man's waiting at the bottom of the barn ladder. "Anything?" He chokes back a sob. "I told him not to go up there. I told him." He looks up at the...
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by
3 delivery trucks sit on the waterfront, their drivers securing the cargo. 12 cop cars form a protective half-ring around them. Their occupant, you approach a pair of cops. The broad one pushes shells into a shotgun with a practiced motion and an undercurrent of excitement. His wiry partner indicates the trucks.
We gotta get these through. Keep 'em.
The broad cop grunts. You been living under a rock? Strikers, says the other. Socialist motherfuckers, the broad one adds. The wiry cop looks away. The broad cop sneers. Doesn't matter. They'd better fall in line. The other shakes his head.
My cousin's out there.
It's a token act of resistance, but it's something. You drop onto your belly, the car between you and the gathered cop. You stand to find the thin cop watching. He looks between you and the fuel leaking.
Bad luck again, but there's no shame in dying. Everyone does it. You still have a job to do, but if you want to learn anything more from me, then I'm sure you'll end up seeing more of it. There's so much here. Have you seen the vastness? The fields and the deserts and the lakes and the woods, looming mountains and the vast canyons. It feels like too much for one place. It feels like too much for one place to contain. Do you think people are trapped in this country, shackled to the land? Or trapped by this country perhaps, seduced into believing it has all that they need and that none will ever. You met my family. They're yours now, I suppose. Who do you think we were playing with? They're an odd lot. But whose family isn't? People love this country, but in so many ways, unrequited, passionate, desperate, innocently. There's a surprising amount of joy in a country that's so depressed. It just goes to show that people can find light in the deepest darkness. Go on your way, seeker. I'm sure we'll meet at least once more. Think about what we've discussed, and good luck.
On top of a hillside boxcar, 4 men in sailors' clothes fix their eyes on the distant waterfront, where a crowd of hundreds clashes with uniformed cops. After a while of silence, one of the men responds. You notice his bruised eye. The man seems nervous and fills the silence.
Those longshoremen. They're the only ones out here with steady work, and all they do is whine. Makes me sick. One of those bastards dragged me off the pier and...
The police open fire into the crowd. As the shots ring out, the character of the sound changes altogether.
No point dying for a day's work.
The man crawls to the edge of the boxcar and hops off. The sound of gunfire continues all across the port.
You see me here? You think you know me? I didn't start out in the gutter. I was raised right. But I'd save up my nickels for the collection plate and buy story rags instead. But you know, the books I miss the most is the hopeful ones. Come on, that can't be true. Sorrow ain't like I did my chores, said my prayers but in those rags I was. So I miss them blood-pounding. Ooh, tell another like that and you could write a good rag. Home. We lived in a little house in town, but the fields were never too far away. When my daddy'd run me out of the house, I'd beat it out to those fields and play cowboys and Injuns, or jump from a tree like a flyboy. Anyhow, you got any stories that end looking up? Sounds like one of the bad soppy ones I used to read. Love? Yeah, those stories had love and even so. But you tell me, what's the wildest thing you've seen on the roads out? World ain't always like that, you know. Family wasn't all hard. My mama caught me reading once, but she just told my daddy I was out playing. So I miss them blood-pounding adventure stories. You got any like that? I seen things 100 times worse than that, I can When it comes to the past, my daddy wanted me to quit. Got his wish, but anyway, I'm headed out this way when the sun comes up. I like your tales. Hope we cross paths again.
York salmon, having come to the end of its journey, is a grotesque beast. A great curved hump on its back, and that deformed hook of a jaw. With one practiced peck, it strikes at the salmon's blurred eye and pops it like a grape snapping open under your teeth. After
Suit yourself.
it steadies itself on the carcass, and some of the uric smell wafts over to you.
Don't look a gift eyeball in the mouth's what I always say. I see a lot of drifters come through these woods.
It says, digging something out from behind the salmon's leaking eye socket.
Bears, hobos, salmon run attracts all sorts. Lots of odd tales. Well, this one's a secret.
It flaps its wings and flies towards you, perching on your shoulder.
You see, there once was this raven who liked to...
And then, instead of finishing his thought, he just snaps at your eye with that sharp needle of a beak. You flinch and close your eyes instinctively, losing your balance and taking an ungainly fall onto the soft sand of the riverbed.
Ha!
Cries the raven, once again perched on the dead salmon.
People always fall for it. You should have seen your face.
I was still a kid when Dame started turning my head. Long gams, gleam in her eye, all dolled up, and I was done. I didn't know how to talk to a dame. I was a boy, play acting as a man. But when I indulged in a little liquid courage, I was off to the races.
Так, где у нас вот шансон? Больше интересующий всех.
Anyhow, you got any stories that end? When you've seen enough real the past, I remember being happy with. But you know, the books I miss. Well, that one sure makes me smile. Joy? Well, seeing a doll smile when she sees you, not much better than that. Especially if that doll's Louisa. But you know, the books I miss the most is the hopeful ones. Got any of those? Leaves a warm feeling in your chest, huh? Me? I never wanted to settle down, get married, think about the future. till I got stuck on Louisa. Then I couldn't help it. The future played on my mind like Louisa played with my heart. So anyway, I miss a good ghost story. Sounds like one of the bad sadness. Yeah, you know, some of them books that make me shiver. Come on, that can't be true. Sorrow ain't change. But no, sun's up. You know I'm always ready for a story. I'll be out this way if you find any. There's more on my mind about Louisa.
Все-таки в игре есть. Они пошли.
unties a fishing boat from its mooring.
You heading out to fish? Can rent you a boat if you like. The lake's well stocked, but there's a monster lake. Locals say it's the biggest trout ever to live, but they're wrong. It's not a fish. It's something else.
The water is clear and glassy as you paddle along the lake. The fisherman's out in the middle of the lake. The throng is... You reel in several fish quite quickly. Fat, glistening trout flop around in the bottom of your boat. A sharp... been precariously raised as a tiny jetty over a creek, cutting its way through the woods. She's dressed in a simple baby.
It fell somewhere in here. Can't have gotten far.
She has the rocky voice of a distraught person who's unused to being distraught.
Hey, you!
She runs toward you, looking through displaced locks of wavy black hair.
Do you see my ring down there in the water?
Your eyes scan the bottom of the water, looking for a glint of metal among the moving shimmers of tiny silver. You reach down into the water, gingerly grasping a narrow band of gold.
Oh, Lord, thank you so much.
She beams, all but stepping into the water to take it from you.
If you had, the ring's magical.
The young girl blurts out. Her mother gives her a mocked, stern look, as though the mother laughs, shaking the water from her hair.
Why, I wished a stranger would...
People throng the fair, filling the air with laughter and chit-chat. Kids thread and weave through the stalls, laughing, and knots of farmers stand discussing the various animals on show.